Video games can make someone feel a wide range of emotions, but it's a fact that if you've played any kind of game, you've gone through some kind of frustration to a certain degree. There's been tons of times I've gotten frustrated with a game, but the following moments really stick out in my mind. Moments like these can be found in good and bad games alike, and often when you reminisce about one of your favorite games, these moments always get brought up as the kind of ordeals you never want to go through again. But to do this list justice, I had to do just that. So now, without further ado, I give you my top 10 infuriating moments in gaming. Enjoy, everybody. I mean, one of us has to, am I right? What better way to start a list like this than by talking about Mario Kart, huh? For as much as I love Mario Kart Double Dash, there's one part of the game where I never had an ounce of fun, and that was the All Cup on Mirror Mode. The mirrored tracks weren't the big issue though. It was more the fact that if you wanted to win this cup, you needed to consistently be in first or second place or you can just forget about it. And there's no strategizing because aside from the first and last tracks, the track layout is randomized every time. This is on top of everything else I dislike about Mario Kart, like lightning throwing me off my groove, getting knocked off the track, and blue shells that I swear are programmed to get me just before the finish line. But the worst part of all of this was something I discovered when making this very entry. You see, I've been trying to unlock Petey Piranha and King Boo in this game for years now, and I thought it was done by beating this mode. But that's actually not how you get them. It's the Star Cup on Mirror Mode. All you get from All Cup is a stupid cart, and you can probably guess how mad I got at the game and myself when I found this out. I mean, for what it's worth, Star Cup is a pain in the butt too, but for all the time I wasted, All Cup Mirror Mode takes the spot. As anyone who's played a Killer Instinct game can tell you, the final bosses Idol and Gargos are seriously tough to beat, but in the new KI, Shadow Jago is in a league of his own. Just trying to get to him can be a challenge in and of itself. In arcade mode, you gotta get through with 2 supreme victories, finish with an ultra before and when you get to your rival character, and not die even once, all on hard difficulty or higher. Then and only then will Shadow Jago appear, to which he will likely proceed to just go to town on you. Regardless of what difficulty you set it to, this guy's difficulty is set to Kyle, the highest one in the game, and he may just be AI, but the way he plays and acts is fiendishly human. He's downright underhanded in his playstyle, breaking combos in places you never thought possible, and when you think you might have the upper hand at a point in the match, even for just a little bit, he'll shut you down twice as fast, making you feel shame for even trying. And I only keep trying because I really want that stage of his so I can say, yeah, I beat him, but I've still got a long way to go before that happens. When it came to thinking of things that ticked me off in the Mega Man series, Mega Man 8 was the first game to come to mind, because if there's one thing I remember about it, it's that the snowboard sections in Frostman's stage gave my brother and I so much trouble. Just talking about it, I feel like I'm having war flashbacks. We've only ever had this game via the Anniversary Collection, and I've heard that the PS2 version actually has input lag in these sections. If true, that would explain a lot, because we followed the instructions on screen, but I guess the game just couldn't keep up. Either Mega Man didn't jump or slide, and no matter who is the player or the spectator, we both swear to you that the right button was pushed at the right time. Then the icons began to overlap and we didn't know when to go, so that was another thing we had to deal with, and we didn't get past here for a good number of months. I'm still kinda surprised we ever managed to get past this stage, and when we did, we'd figured it was a one-time thing, never have to do something like that again. Oh boy, were we wrong. I'd say NES games are the cornerstone of video game anger, and one game I've always wanted to try was Snake, Rattle, and Roll. It looks like it could be a fun game, and for the first little while it is, but that doesn't last long. Snake, Rattle, and Roll is an isometric game that controls with a D-pad, so moving around tends to be really imprecise, but the game demands precision if you're planning to get anywhere. And for lack of a better term, that makes it stupid hard. The last 2 levels have this in spades, and they top it all off with everybody's favorite, ice physics. Between trying not to fall off the platforms and keeping my Snake alive, I can't imagine anybody got this far back when the game came out. I was barely able to get through here with cheats and a rewind feature. Do you see this set of stairs right here? Do you see this set of stairs right here? I ended up doing more rewinding trying to land on this one set of stairs properly than actually playing the game. And it came to a point where I asked myself, what am I doing? Why am I still playing this? And on top of all that, you expect me to make this jump at all? Oh, that's nice. Every time I think of the Lion King game, my memories are a mix of fun times that were surrounded by so much anger. And not seeing past level 5 for years, you don't make that one roll, forget it. Though I'd say I had the most bad times with level 2, because coming from the first level, there's some serious difficulty whiplash. Trying to figure out which monkey threw you where was pretty bad, but the part that gave me the most grief was the bit with the ostrich, no question. This segment's actually very similar to the one in Mega Man 8, only here there's more things to look out for, and it's probably the most trial and error thing I've ever seen. The double jumps here had me stumped for the longest time because from what I could see, I cleared the nest, but I guess the ostrich just crashed into the rhino off screen, so I got killed too. And in between it all is what I like to call pachyderm platform hell. These hippos take up so much space, but landing on them is such a gamble, and trying to time these rhino tails, oh, don't even get me started. I used to think I might have just sucked at the game because for crying out loud, it's level 2. How could this be so bad? Well, turns out it was made to be that way so kids wouldn't beat it too quickly when they rented it, and one of the developers apologized about the difficulty on Reddit years later. So I got closure now, but the damage has already been done. BanjoKazooie is a pretty relaxing game in terms of challenge, but if you're going for 100% completion, now that's where things get tough. Collecting 100 notes in a world without dying is already stressful on its own, but combined with the level Rusty Bucket Bay, it turns the task into a completionist's nightmare. Here the notes are spread out all around the ship in small groups, and if you've been playing long enough, you might forget what room you were last in and if you got everything in it, making the journey all the more tedious. And on top of water that saps your air when swimming above the surface, practically anything that isn't bolted to the ground is trying to kill you. And heck, even some stuff that is. But the real kicker here has to be the engine room. Like I even have to explain this. I can never decide on whether to tackle this place before everything else or save it for last because I just rather not deal with it at all. But there is no worse feeling than having 96 notes, remembering the last 4 are in that gauntlet of a room, and screwing up ever so slightly and getting killed, losing all your progress up to that point. Afterwards, you sit there for a minute, defeated, then the completionist inside you says to immediately try again, but the smart part of your brain says, no more, just turn it off! Now all of this really only applies to the N64 version as the Xbox One saves your notes, but even so, I never look forward to this level and certainly not that room. Plain and simple. One thing I've loved about the Donkey Kong Country games is that their difficulty is challenging, but never in an unfair way. That's probably the same for Animal Antics, but this level gets me too frustrated to really notice, and if you've played through it, you know exactly what section of it I'm referring to. Halfway into the level, you have to navigate Squawks through a maze of bramble, and he's dealt with this kind of okay in the past, but this time there's wind you have to deal with. The trick here is to take things slow and not panic, but in a situation like this, how can you not? You're a clumsy parrot at the mercy of the elements. It's in your instinct to flap because it's the only thing you can do here, but believe me, it just ends up killing you. To my knowledge, I've only ever beaten this stage a handful of times, and I tried my hand at it again when I was getting footage for this video, and I just couldn't get past here. How is it that I can beat something like Irate 8 on hard mode, yet I still have trouble beating this one segment with ample lives and continues? You know what, forget what I said earlier, maybe this level is just plain unfair. Pokemon Stadium has to be one of the hardest Pokemon games to fully complete, mainly because winning is more or less left up to chance. You can't cheat your way through because the game actually punishes you if you try to get on their level, and pure strategy only gets you so far. All you can really do is hope to God luck is on your side if you want to win, and that's pretty much the Pika Cup in a nutshell. True, it's a cup for the lowest level Pokemon, but dare I say it's the hardest cup to beat in the whole game. And in round 2, sweet Lord! You may think you have the advantage with a homegrown team, but if a team of 3 exceeds level 50, someone's gotta go. So you'll usually have to use a rental Pokemon somewhere in the mix. Rentals aren't outright bad, but they certainly can't stack up against what the opponents have, especially considering some of their Pokemon are outright illegal. The game just says to you, fairness, strategy, this is Pokemon Stadium, kid! Now taste the wrath of my level 15 Seadra. You can prepare and predict for a team as much as you want, guessing what type they'll use first and try to counter it, but they send out something you didn't see coming, that can be enough to cost you everything. There's really no surefire method to beating this thing, but if by some miracle you do, you're a real Pokemon master. Now all I need is that surfing Pikachu and I'll be done with this game forever! Battletoads had to be somewhere on this list, and it's definitely deserving to be this high. The game's hard enough in single player, but it can be beaten with enough patience and determination. Bringing along a second player, I really don't think it can be done. Believe me, I tried. My brother and I took a crack at it through Rare Replay, and thanks to our skill plus a handy rewind feature, we got as far as level 11 pretty stress-free. But to get any farther with 2 players, your reflexes need to be perfect to make every single turn without slowing down even an inch. We thought we braved the worst Battletoads had to offer, but this put us to the test and we failed bad. At a point it became torture, so I ended up dropping out and just watched my brother try and fail while I rewinded over and over and over and over. And if we go all the way back to Battle Maniacs on the SNES, that's where insanity first ensued with that turbo tunnel. Granted, it was pretty funny seeing the Toads getting graphically killed, but the joke soon ended and we just wanted to beat the level, which didn't happen until again one of us dropped out. And it took a good 17 years that time. But if this isn't number 1, what could possibly be worse? For the longest time, I would have told you Battletoads was the king of frustrating and nothing could come close. But in the last little while, I played something that managed to prove me wrong. That game was Jak 2, and unlike everything else on this list, the whole game gets put on here. And here's why. Think of the most infuriating moment in a game that you've played. You know, that one level. Jak 2 is like that, except throughout. Every mission is that one mission, though the ones that stick out had me legitimately mad. The race through the city, the escort missions, the bomb mission. Oh, no. I'm going into detail on this one. This one has you throw 6 bombs into the eco wells with 2 minutes on the clock, and if you die once, you gotta start the mission all over. After about 20 minutes of trying, I was on the last bomb, 5 seconds to go. I threw it, but it didn't land in the well before time ran out, so even though it was out of my hands, when it exploded, I spontaneously blew up with it! I'd show you the corresponding footage, but there is no way I'm gonna put myself through something like that again. That is called masochism, boys and girls. No game has managed to push me so close to the breaking point than Jak 2, and don't you think this is the last you're gonna hear about it from me. Not letting it off that easy. You may think you know true rage with a game you've played. You may think that this doesn't sound all that bad, but until you go through what I did, you truly don't know Jak. Oh, what's this? I got a sponsor? Yep, this video's been sponsored by the Pixel Empire, a site that specializes in pop culture inspired art and posters. They got stuff inspired from TV shows, video games, that kind of stuff. And if you use the coupon code TheCartoonGamer at checkout, you get 15% off any order. You'd be supporting Mr. Dylan West, the guy who runs the site, and me too. Thanks so much for reaching out to me, Dylan, very humbled indeed. So if you can, show this guy and his crew some love and tell me what you get. I got the Jak print. Ironically. And once again, thank you all so much for watching another video of mine. I really appreciate it. And if there's a moment in a video game that you absolutely hated, feel free to share it in the comments below. If you so choose, don't forget to share this video with a friend, hit the like button, subscribe, and check out some of the other videos I got on screen. Also the other social media links and blah blah blah. There's so much on this end slate, I'm sorry. And with all that said, I will see you guys next time. Later!